Alrighty, guys. Yay! Okay, so I am here with Brandon Drake, and I don't even know how long I've known Brandon, at least 6 months, if not longer, just
Something longer.
through internet and all that jazz. Brandon, I met as the vice president, or you just were getting promoted to vice president of Lab Smart.
Hmm.
He is also known as the healthy data guy, and I'll have him kind of tell you guys what he does because that's a lot of stuff that I'm going to mess up. But really, guys, me being in the mental health industry and in addiction recovery, I think it's so important to highlight people who really show up in all facets of their life through the lens of, service to others, compassion, and authenticity. And from the moment Brandon and I connected, I knew that he was somebody who was genuine, and as a result, I wanted to kind of get him on here and share his story. So thanks, Brandon.
Yeah, you're welcome. And the thing that you said at the end is real does recognize real. Like you're real, legit, and genuine, and I am too, and we recognize that within each other, and that's why we've kept in contact and stayed in contact. And I'll always want to stay updated on all the new things that you're doing so I could support you. And that's how I am. People that are going to be real and genuine with me. I want to return that favor. So yeah, I'm glad to be on.
Yeah. So, okay, before we dive into how you either fell into showing up the way you do, through the lens of love and authenticity, um, what does VP of Lab Smart mean for
Yeah,
all
so
of those who are like,
Yeah, so the VP, and to be even specific, because I'm very data oriented, data and health oriented, I'm the VP of Business Development at Lab Smarts. And basically, what I do is I essentially developing genuine relationships with practitioners that could possibly use our services. And that's what I kind of take that same motto or mindset to everybody that's in my network in business or whatnot. And I mean, the same thing with family, like genuine creating and fostering genuine relationships, really asking them questions and getting to know like what are some of their problems and how I could service them. If I could service them, then we could use our solution. If I can't, I'm still gonna ask them, hey, is there anything else you need help with? Because hey, I'm trying to support my network behind me, like you and many other people. And if there's problems that they might have, maybe they don't have website issues. Hey, I know a web developer guy. I'm always trying to provide service, whether it's my service or somebody else's service. Either way, I'm supporting somebody's business. And so to get back to me, like what we do at Lab Smarts is we provide blood work interpretation software to help practitioners be more effective and efficient at analyzing blood test results for the main goal of improving client health outcomes. And what makes us unique is that unfortunately, in the conventional world, when they interpret your blood work, we've all gotten our blood work done. When they interpret your blood work using the conventional method, they essentially compare you relative to a sample population, which does not represent you in the stage of life you're in, nor does it represent your unique characteristics like your age, your gender, ethnicity, elevation, which you live in, pregnancy by trimester, menopausal status, and many more factors that they don't take in consideration. Well, Lab Smarts, we take in consideration these unique characteristics of you to come up with a more accurate representation of your blood work so that the practitioner can then take appropriate action based on your unique bio individuality. They'll see the imbalances within your health based on your bio individuality and then come up with an action plan or a more targeted health plan to make sure that you address those health imbalances. And that's what I truly like about Lab Smarts because we're providing practitioners with a software solution that allows them to do their job better to improve their client health outcomes. And that's why I wake up every day happy to do what I'm doing because I know I'm contributing to something that means a lot to me. I might not be helping people directly, but I'm helping the people who help people, like the practitioners who help their people. So that's what makes me light up every day, loving what I do because I came from the corporate world and I wasn't really happy with what I wanted to do. And so I had to quit the job and find out what I really wanted, and I had to go through a journey to get that.
yeah, and it is a journey, trust and believe.
Yes. Yes.
So okay, so you kind of alluded to the fact that you worked in corporate America and you didn't feel fulfilled. How did you transition from, kind of going along with dogma, right? Because I did it too. It's like you go to school, you get a
Yeah.
job, you
Go
buy
through
a
the
house,
system.
yeah. What was the transition? What was the catalyst for you to shift from that paradigm into kind of recreating your life in a way that feels more meaningful?
Yeah. So, when I first got out of college and worked a corporate job, I never really got used to the corporate environment. I just thought something was wrong with me and I should just like suck it up and just do it. You know, that's how I always thought. And I was good at what I did. And the reason why I call myself healthy data guy because I worked in data. So in the corporate world, I dealt with data migration, data analyst, anything data related, data scientist, I was doing data. But it just wasn't fulfilling to me, but I was just going through the motions and collecting the paycheck. And hey, I'm not complaining. It was a good paycheck because it allowed me to reinvest in myself later on. But I was just thought to just suck it up and just go ahead and do what I need to do. But the catalyst that kind of influenced me was my continual unhappiness. And I got to a point in my work where I was working I don't know, 10, 12, 13, 14 hours a day for like 6 months straight. And I said, this is not the life I want to live. Like, yeah, I'm getting good money, but like, I want my free time to hang out with friends and family and spend time for my own self-care or whatnot. And a couple of things even made me influence me to make that move. Unfortunately, I had some family members that either struggled or passed away with either having a heart attack, stroke, double, triple bypass surgery. Also, too, I had pre-hypertension at a very young age, and I said to myself, you know what? I do not want to recreate history or repeat history and get these issues that some of my family members have because there's something called epigenetics where you have the ability to control how your genes express themselves. And so that kind of led me on a journey to really focus on my own self-care. Like I read cooking books, health books, watched documentaries, learned how to cook. And then I realized, you know what? Every day I would go into work trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I finally realized, you know what? I want to do something in health and wellness because I want to heal myself. And before I could heal anybody else, I need to heal myself. But I think it's going to be very gratifying to help other people become better versions of themselves when it comes to health. And so I saved my money up. I sucked it up, as I've been doing. And I didn't know what I was going to do exactly, but when I figured it out, I quit my job. I made sure I had my money saved up. I planned it. It was like a calculated quitting. I went to holistic nutrition and culinary arts school, basically learning how to cook for people based on their health conditions, and I was kind of using it for my self-serving attitude to heal myself and hypertension and just to use food as medicine or as therapy or whatnot. So after going through that program, I love the program. It was basically 20 or 30 people in the class. We cooked foods that were therapeutic based on people's health conditions, whether it was heart attack, whether it was diabetes, whether it was autoimmune issues, food allergies, sensitivities. It was great. Now I knew I was doing something of meaning that was going to contribute not only to my health, but to other people I would help in the future. So that was very meaningful to me compared to doing the corporate thing and doing data migration that had absolutely no meaning to me at all. Just going through the motions. Now I had an actual purpose. And so
I love that.
yeah, right. Yeah. So it just makes a big difference when you could wake up every morning knowing that you're going to contribute to a cause that means a lot to you. And it's just not like work anymore. It's just part of who I am and what I do. And
Yeah.
that's I just found my natural, I don't know what you call it, like just something that's within me and ingrained with me that's natural compared to like going through the motions and forcing myself to do it. And I'm grateful for that because not a lot of people have the opportunity to do that. And some people just can't go ahead and quit their jobs. They have so many responsibilities. Luckily, I didn't, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I could make that I could take that chance, take that risk to find what I truly wanted to do. Uh, and so that's just part of the story. If you have any questions, I wanted to give a break because I know I was talking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so something that I want to highlight that really impresses me, and I hope this is picked up by the community, is so you had hypertension, you experienced loss and or witness your family members struggle with health issues. And rather than go along to get along, which sadly a lot of us do because we don't know where to start, you action. You did research, you learned cookbooks, and then when you felt prepared, you jumped in and then you took a chance and you went and learned and delved in even deeper. And so that is amazing because it really does start with just taking an action, any action,
Yeah,
rather
exactly.
than just having that information and just sitting with it because you don't know where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so you went to culinary school, you worked in this class, you learned all of this. How did you get from cooking,
Yeah.
healthy foods and supporting people to now working in, an area where there's lab work and you are essentially
Yeah, right.
supporting the people who are helping the people need with the cooking and stuff?
Yeah. So what happened was, after I got done with the holistic nutrition and culinary arts school, I was cooking for people based on their health conditions, mainly focusing on people with metabolic issues like heart attack, stroke, prediabetes, diabetes, hypertension. And then during that time, like I'm a continual learner, I always like learning. During that time when I was cooking for people, I was actually going to functional nutrition school, learning more about the nutrition side, so I could just be more valuable, not just to myself, but the people that I was helping. And after I got done during that process, I really like I really like my business and what I was doing will, improve their health. But the one thing I liked even better that I never knew I would like is I actually like the sales process of getting to know people. I don't call it sales, I call it more relationship building. Really, I like the process of getting to know them, their health history, their challenges, and what their goals were, and seeing how I could support them. And if I could help them, I'd be like, hey, let's make this happen. And if I couldn't, then I would reach out to my networking partners to find them the appropriate person that could take care of them. And I like that whole process. And I realized, you know what? I like the cooking thing, but I don't want to cook forever. Like cooking, 12, 13 hours a day. It I know it was fulfilling, but one, I didn't want to burn myself out. And two, I just didn't want to lose my love for cooking as well.
Yeah,
And
no, I get
so
that.
yeah, so I realized that, you know what? I really like sales and business development and developing deep relationships with people. I think I want to do either sales and business development for either a practitioner or a health company whose values align with mine when it comes to health and wellness. And so it kind of led me on a journey, another journey, to do a lot more networking. And my networking was very strategic. I was networking with a lot of people in the technology world and the health world. And through that networking, one of my networking partners recommended that I talk to a lady named Marianne of a company called Lab Smarts. And I had a one-on-one with her. And always my goal in a one-on-one when I meet another business owner is to get to know them and to understand their business so I could support them. And so I led with that same attitude when I was talking to Marianne. But after talking to Marianne and learning about Lab Smarts and their bio-individualized blood work interpretation software, I said to myself, man, I like Marianne. I like her personality. She's very genuine and I love what she's doing. And she's very mission oriented. I'm gonna set up another meeting with her because I'm gonna ask her straight out. I want to work with you. I don't just want to support you and be a referral partner. I actually want to be part of your business. And so I had a second meeting with Marianne. I said, Marianne, I really like what you're doing. You're contributing to a cause that's very meaningful to me. And I know it's meaningful to you based on how I was hearing you talk about how passionate you were about helping other practitioners. Is there any way I could do sales and business development for you? Because I already like your target market. Her target market were practitioners that have a personalized, preventative, and root cause driven healthcare philosophy. And those people really resonate with me. And I would talk to them for free. But if I
Yeah.
could do it as a career, it would be even better. And so Marianne said, Brandon, that's actually a really good question because I wear a lot of hats on my company and I need to alleviate some of the work that I'm doing so I could focus on the software and I could focus on the with the developers so that we could always enhance the software based on the new studies that are coming out related to blood chemistry. And I would love to figure out how we could work together. And I've been working with her for a year, and I do all the sales and business development. I call it AKA relationship building with our target market and our practitioners. And I love every day of it. And she's an awesome person. I'm an awesome person and we're an awesome business. And I really love how we're contributing to a cause that means a lot to me. So we're fully aligned when it comes to health and wellness because I'm connecting with people that believe in a personalized approach to healthcare.
Well, something that I want to highlight again is, you saw something and you went after it. And so often we are called to do something hard or say, hey, I would like to work with you. And then we hold ourselves back because we doubt ourselves or we don't think that we have enough to offer. Have you ever
Mhm.
had those struggles? And if
Oh,
not, go ahead. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, okay. So when I quit my corporate job, when I was back in school being a student again, I said to myself, man, did I make the wrong choice? Because right now I'm gonna be going a while. I don't know what the future holds for me. And I was like low key missing a little bit of the stability of having that job and that constant paycheck on a bi-weekly basis. But I said to myself, you know what? This is the decision you made. You just got to keep on going forward. I don't know what the future holds, but if you keep on improving yourself, keep on giving positivity to people around you, things are going to work out. And so I had that mentality, that same mentality. And also too, the one quote that kept me going is all progress takes place outside the comfort zone. Like, hey, when you're in an uncomfortable situation, like quitting your job and not having that stable paycheck, things you're gonna get better for it and you're gonna adapt and you're gonna learn from it. And if you're really in love with what you're doing or you have a belief system where you're like, I can make this happen and I really want to do this, I do not want to go back to corporate. And so with all that motivation behind me, it just kept on firing me up to move forward, even though it was an unknown. And
Yep.
I kind of got used to liking the unknown because it was like a Christmas present every day that I was getting. So it was kind of nice. Like, yeah, some days are down days, but some days are like super up days. Like before just talking to you, I had a great conversation with a prospect and I made a sale and I basically was just asking her and getting to know her and asking what her problems were and coming up with a solution for her. And luckily we were able to give her a solution. And then I'm on this, call with you, and I'm even happier because I'm just more surrounding myself by more other positive people or whatever. The lady before me, going around, she was positive too. So I'm on your network. You're positive, and you probably have a lot of really good-hearted people in your network. So I'm happy to be part of that.
Well, so I like you, I'll ask. The way I see it is if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So if you
Uh-huh.
gotta just ask and put yourself out there. And then of course
Yes.
you never know what that is going to, you know, transform into. So obviously, you're working with Lab Smart, you are aligned with the woman who created it, which is
Mhm.
amazing. You have to be.
Mhm.
That creates positive energy, and then you attract more positive energy. So, right before the call, you mentioned to me that you don't just do Lab Smart, but you're also delving into other areas of opportunity. Do you care
Yeah.
to share with us what that
Yeah.
is?
Yeah, so, so obviously I'm in sales. I'm the VP of Business Development. It's a nice way of saying, I'm in sales. But in my sales process, I'm always keeping track of all my contacts in my network, whether they're prospects, whether they're customers, or whether they're networking partners. My goal is to stay engaged with them. And so I use a CRM tool, customer relationship management. This is basically a fancy way of saying staying in contact with all your business contacts so that they're aware of what you do, and you could generate business down the line. That's really the main goal of that. And so I did not foresee myself at all working for this company because I like lab smarts. So one of my networking partners, his name is Charles. We were really good referral partners. We were referring each other business, getting to know each other. And he would always ask me, "Hey Brandon, I know you use a CRM right now. Don't you want to use our CRM?" And he would jokingly say that, and I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm good with my existing CRM because I use my CRM to keep track of all my customers." And so finally, I gave him a chance because a lot of people were giving good reviews about his CRM. And so I said, you know what, Charles, could I test out your CRM? I just want to see how it compares to HubSpot. And so I spent 3 months. Like I'm very analytical, hence the reason why healthy data guy, the data side of me is very analytical. So like I analyzed it for 3 months, comparing it to HubSpot, and I was like, wow, that was unexpected. I think it's better than HubSpot. And so what I did is I'm very loyal. So I called HubSpot and I said, hey, HubSpot, I have another CRM that I'm using. They could do all these other new features, but I want to make sure that guys could also do this because I'm willing to stay with you guys first, to giving you a chance. So they said, yeah, we can implement all these features, but you have to upgrade to a new package. And I, well, what's the price? So I was paying $26 a month, and they're like, oh, it's gonna be $985 a month. And I was like, okay, well, thank you for your time. I'm gonna get more value from this other CRM at a better price. So goodbye, and I appreciate your time. I have nothing bad to say about HubSpot. Great company. So essentially I started using this new CRM and I spent 3 months learning it, so I knew it pretty well. And so I talked to Charles. Hey, I said, hey Charles, I'm already using the CRM. I keep track with all I use it every day to keep track of all my customers, my networking partners, and my prospects. Is there any way I could do sales and business development for you? And just like I did with Marianne. And he's like, Brandon, you know the software pretty well. Like, yeah, just do that. And so I've been selling that on the side. But it for me, like I don't like calling it sales. I just like calling it business relationship development. Because that's how the lady that just signed up with our CRM like about 20 minutes ago before this call, like when we had a one-on-one 2 days ago, and it wasn't we weren't even gonna talk about CRMs. I basically just asked her, hey, how's everything going? How's business? How are you doing with your customers? And she just voiced her opinion, like, I'm having a hard time with this CRM, the company that I'm using. I don't like all the restrictions that they're giving me. And if I need to do something, they're gonna nickel and dime me. And it's like, well, here's the CRM I'm using. And I told her about it. And she says, wow, that sounds really interesting. Can I learn more? And that learn more turned into another future call. That call was actually today. I answered all her questions and she became a customer. So like that's my style of sales of like it wasn't even trying to sell. Like I like selling without selling.
Well, it's so funny because I think that anybody who's in business is a salesperson. And I
Yeah.
always get a kick when people tell me, I'm not good at sales. I'm like, well, I think you're lying to yourself, especially if you're a people person. It's
Yeah.
just really about how you approach it. And I also agree that relationship building is critical because trust is imperative no matter what it is you were selling, whether it's
Yeah.
something related to health or whether it's, believe it or not, liquor at the store. You want to know the ingredients, you want to know the benefits
Yeah.
or all of that. And so I think that's one of the reasons I was really drawn to you is because I immediately felt like you were invested in building trust and not
Yeah.
just selling me something.
Yeah, and I know
And
this lady for like a year, and we never talked about CRMs. It was just talking about each other's businesses, how we could support each other, and how we could support each other comes in many different forms.
yep.
It could be referrals. It could be, oh, maybe you could use my service, or maybe I'll use your service. Who knows? Like, that's why I stay open to just staying in contact with people and not doing like one and dones. Like, obviously, there are some people that are one and dones because they're not my vibe. It's not right, and that's cool. That's just the nature of business or whatnot. And so yeah.
So, okay. So, and that's the thing is something that you're amazing at is really genuinely investing in your network. So, you know, randomly you'll drop a connection in my inbox, it with just me with somebody else. Where did you get that lens? How did you learn to just invest in people?
Okay. To invest in people, where did I learn that? Um, let's see. I'm trying to get like the source. Like, there's so many different answers, angles to this. You know, hmm. When I was in corporate, I really like lending people a helping hand. But the thing that was frustrating to me is that there was so much work piled onto me that I couldn't have those genuine relationships with my coworkers or people in other departments to help them with whatever questions they had because I had to deal with all my tasks that were piled onto me because, once somebody in corporate knows that you're a really good worker, they give you a lot.
Oh
So
yeah.
I was handed with a lot of work. And so I was like, man, I miss like being able to help other people and having time to actually talk to people. And I couldn't do that. And in my job, I was pigeonholed to being the data guy, the technical guy. And I wanted to get outside of that and have a job where I was more able to be social and talk to people. And because I was pigeonholed in that corporate environment, I felt that I was never going to move on up to a new position that allowed me to experiment with those or just open my wings to the more the social part of a job rather than the full-on technical. Now I could do both. And it's actually kind of great that I have both the technical skill and the social skills because it allows me to be valuable to the people that are around me in terms of yeah, valuable in terms of the people around me. And so I already had the inkling to want to help people, but now I'm in a position where I could do that. And I'm always looking to find out what's new with you. How could I support you? And I'm really good at networking now because I'm using my data analytical skills in my CRM database to make connections with people based on what they've told me. So like all that knowledge that I've accumulated allows me to be like a super like listener and connector to connect people because I'm using technology, I'm using my data, I'm using all the data stored in my CRM about you because I have profiles about everybody I want to stay connected with. And in those profiles, I'll read them and I see who I could connect them to that are related to them or that could be a good collaborative partner or whatnot. So I already had the inkling to want to help people, but now I get to help people and connect them and use my database skills to do so. So yeah, that's why you see those organized emails. Hey, Carrie does this. Hey, Jim does this. Connect. Go ahead. Go for
Well, it's
it.
so funny because I literally said before, you could be like the way you write out what I do. I'm like, oh my God, I just need you to tell everybody what I do. It would be great. So, but, it's so interesting. I try to tell people so often we feel like to give takes away, but I really believe that to really give of yourself altruistically to the best of your ability, to really just genuinely be invested in others, that creates a ripple effect of people wanting to just
Yeah.
genuinely invest in you because it's positive energy going out, positive energy coming back. And so that's really important, particularly for my community to hear, for anybody out there who may be struggling with, emotions or addiction. Sometimes starting by helping somebody else, even if it's just listening
Yeah.
and not having an answer, that can have massive impact on your own mental health and wellness because that help is going to inevitably come back to you. I really believe that so much.
Yes. Agree. Agree.
So you have taken control of health, I imagine. And so what's next? Like, what are your goals for Brandon Drake, even outside of your career path, which is obviously investing in people and and being a successful sales everything, obviously. What's your focus?
When you say my focus, are you saying focus in business or focus personally or both? Just
Both.
yeah.
Yeah. Where do you want to see yourself? You love to grow. What are you developing now for yourself?
Yeah, so I'll talk about the business part and then I'll talk about personally. So the business part, uh that's why I love being an entrepreneur and well, I am an entrepreneur, but I work with people, but they allow me to be creative, and that's what I like. Through my creativity, I always think about what new things I could implement to provide more value to my community. So one of the new things, actually, it's probably only been like 3 or 4 weeks. I thought about it like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, and I finally made it happen. So one of the things that have has happened is, I actually have like a membership community for people that are using that sign up under me for my CRM. So a lot of times they have questions and I tell them, "Hey, ask me all the questions you want." And whenever they ask me a question, I basically just do a demonstration video. I put it into the community. That person looks at it, finds use in it. Now they're able to apply that skill to their CRM. But other people in my community will see that video and it might help them too. So
Yep.
lately, I've been doing tons of tutorial videos and people that sign up under me, I'm not charging them for the community. They're already signed up under the CRM. So it's part of my value add. People I give them free membership to my community and I tell them, "Hey, ask me questions and I'll create videos for it." So I have like 7 or 8 videos out there averaging between, 5 to 20 minutes in length or whatnot. Whatever people ask me, I create a video out of it, share it with them, it publicizes it to them, and they could continue to learn and to leverage their skills to grow their business using a CRM. So that's the one thing I actually find it a lot of fun because I know I have that helper's heart. So now when I create the video, I'm like really excited. Like the way I'm talking right now is the way I talk in the video. So I want to get their attention. Oh, and also too, they want to pay attention because they want to learn something that'll allow them to be more efficient in their business. So
Yep.
I know I'm contributing to something good, and they know they're learning something that they want to learn because they asked about it.
Yep.
And so yeah. And so
I
that's
love
that's
that.
my thing. So I'm just continually creating more and more videos and demonstration videos for people based on it's not me just thinking what people need. It's me asking them and then them giving me the content so I could answer it for them. So that's what I
Yep.
like. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's amazing.
yeah,
And
it's
I
so
actually
fun.
took,
It's so fun to do too.
well, I took part in your webinar on using a CRM, and it was really well done, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I can only imagine being part of your community, the benefit that people get. So I love that. And what about personally?
Personally, let's see. Personally is always room for improvement. Is my strategy or my motto or whatnot. So every day I'm trying to just refine myself health wise for the most part. And so one of the things that I've done, I don't know if I told you, but I used to go to bed, which was not good, anywhere between 2, 3, 4 in the morning consistently. Yeah, and not really getting like the best sleep. And so I listen to a lot of TEDx videos, especially when it comes to health, and I read books too. And so this TEDx video was about sleep. It was just a short video, 10 minutes by Sachin Panda. So I read it. I watched it, and he was talking about the importance of consistent sleep and making sure your circadian rhythm was set appropriately. And then he talked about the health benefits of getting consistent sleep, and I said to myself, man, that's the one health part of me that's not optimal. I need to fix that.
Yeah.
And so I started like getting better at my sleep. I now from going to bed at 2, 3 in the morning, I was going to bed at 12, 11. Then I got down to about 9:45, 10:15. So I've been on that consistently. And my goal is just to wake up naturally at, by 6 a.m.
Yep.
And I think I did too good of a job, and now I'm waking up consistently between 4:30 and 5 o'clock. But here's the thing, like I'm still getting my good hours of sleep and it's very consistent. And I have like a really good routine where I wake up, make my bed, go work out outside in the dark, come back, put on my cup of tea, clean up, and get ready for work. And I'm starting at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I wanted to wake up at 6 a.m., but here's the thing, like I never knew like how great it is to wake up early on a consistent basis because my mind is clear and blank. I get a lot of ideas. I'm just a lot more efficient. And it's just a good day to start. It's a good way to start off the day. And to build on top of that, like I'm always adding routine to what I'm doing on a daily basis. So like I try to cook once or twice a week. And when I do cook, I cook a lot of food.
Yeah.
Have enough food ready for the whole week so I don't have to worry about food during the week and I could just focus on business relationships and business. Uh,
Yep.
so it's all about just trying to create repetition, persistence, or a schedule or a routine that's right for you, that allows you to continually optimize yourself. Because I want to optimize myself health wise, because I want to be able to take care of people that are in my family, my friends, and want to be the most optimally functioned person for my business partners so I could help support them. If I don't have my health, then what good am I? I'm gonna be inefficient. Like I want to make sure I'm the most functioning person I could be. And the whole motivation is to be able to help other people. Because you
Yep.
can't help other people if you first have to help yourself first to make sure that you're straight.